Okay, next part of the Hauns Mill. Here is a picture and an article about where Sheriff Jennings was killed, as you've probably seen in a previous portrayal of this site. You've also seen the gravestone of his, and there's the cannon that is in dispute whether that's the original cannon or not. Very interesting. William O. Jennings, the man who led the attacks on Hauns Mill. Look at this. His genealogy has been done. He's been married for time and all eternity and sealed to his family. Now this is what we're talking about. Amazing. Amazing. Do we just do that for looks, or is there any possibility that there's redemption for us all, even in spite of ignorance? This is a copy of the Mormon War Letters out of the archives of the state of Missouri. And as I mentioned before, Jesse Kelly said that Alexander McCrae said that after they took Daviess County, they would come over and take Livingston County. This is a picture of my wife and children. This is in Parowan, Utah, where there's a statue and a monument of the old South Cannon. Very interesting. And my wife is the great-great-great-granddaughter of Gideon Carter, who was part of the Crooked River incident. He died. He was defaced, and they didn't even know who he was. Here's an interesting letter that went to General Aitchison, and eventually the governor got wind of it, but Samuel Bogart, who mutinied in DeWitt from General Parks, claims that the cannon was taken from the Livingston County people, and that they were using the cannon in other places. President Hinckley, he says, this is an article, where he says the old South Cannon, which Jacob Hoffins fired 3 times as they entered the rim of the Utah Valley, the cannon received its nickname when an old sow uncovered the cast iron barrel in a field in Missouri when mobbers had hidden it. And this is the same cannon that I showed you pictures of. When I was mayor, I apologized on city letterhead to President Hinckley for the atrocities committed by my people of this city. This is a letter that I sent to Hugh Pinnock after I went to Salt Lake City on November 30th, 2000 as the mayor, and I asked for the return of the cannon. He said that they would release it and have it returned to Chillicothe to be put on display and both sides of the story told, to promote healing and understanding. This never happened. Hugh Pinnock went to the hospital and died very shortly thereafter. This is the email that Alex Baugh sent me that said there's no connection between the taking of the cannon by the Mormons and the Hauns Mill massacre. And the other record that I have, which is right here, this was the 1886 Caldwell County history. It says that Ira Glaze was made to ride on the cannon. He was taken prisoner, and he was made to ride on the cannon to Adamant. Later, he was made to swear an oath not to take up arms against the saints. Later, Joseph Smith said that Ira Glaze was the one in the blacksmith shop who killed Sardius Smith. This is, after this whole incident, the church called me, Alex Baugh called me and said, we need your help. And I wondered what kind of help they needed after all the controversy that I'd seemingly brought up. And they said that Colonel Hinkle, George Hinkle, surrendered his 2 pistols and a sword to Sarcel Woods at Far West the day they surrendered Joseph and the brethren at Far West after the massacre. Well, the Mason Sarcel Woods was a charter member of the Wakanda Lodge of the Masonic Temple. I'm a Mason, so I went to the Masonic Lodge, and they have the sword. This is a picture of the sword. This is George Hinkle's sword. Amazing, amazing relic from our period. No members of the church have ever seen this sword in 170 years, and I was able to see it with my own eyes inside the Masonic Temple. When I was mayor of Chillicothe, I went to the bank one day, and the bankers came to me and they said, what are your people doing? I said, what do you mean? They said, your people have their own money. Members of the church have been passing this type of money as currency. Now, it's these types of situations that create enormous dissension and animosity and fear amongst people. I told the state president, I had a meeting with him, and and this stopped. But there is a copy of the piece of that money, very similar to the Kirtland Bank deal. Not exactly, but very similar. So, okay.